So on 10/16/2015, Saucony Originals sent 10 people that are passionate about sneakers, myself included, to Boston headquarters to be able to design our own pair of sneakers. As you can see, I have 10 boxes right here with all of the creators' pairs of sneakers, as well as a special box that I ended up getting created right here on my left, and then also my original pairs of samples of the Saucony Grid 9000 turntable that I created, which is releasing this Friday, 8/25/17. What's going on, guys? DJ Hess here, collectivekicks.com, and I wanted to bring you guys this video today. Very excited to show you guys detailed looks of both of my samples of my Grid 9000s, as well as a custom box that somebody surprised me with. It was just super rad. And then also the 10 creators boxes here, and every single one of the collabs. I'll show you guys those. But basically, I wanted to give you guys just kind of details about how this came to fruition and how it's coming to market on Friday the 25th. But I will post in the description a link directly to cop the product, but you will have to refresh it the morning of the release. Also, I'll try to get direct links to the other 4 influencers sneakers that are releasing on the same morning. But basically, let's go ahead and start back at the beginning, and then we'll catch up and show you guys all of the creations here. So back in 2015, Saucony Original sent me this 3D printed shoe of a Saucony Jazz, and it had the invitation on it, as you can see back here, from the date of when they are going to be sending the creators back there. And on the bottom, it actually says what we were going to be doing. So it says, pack your bags, grab your favorite pair of originals, and get ready to visit us in Boston. Over the 2-day visit, we'll bring you to our headquarters to design your own Saucony Original sneaker. We'll take you to some of the coolest places in Beantown to take photos and videos and wrap things up. We'll host a low-key meet and greet in the city. We met other influencers in the marketplace. For some of us that have actually not met each other before, it was just a really fun time for that 3-day weekend. And then the craziest part about it was we got to mock up our own pair of sneakers. They give us, I think, 3 or 4 different models that we could have chose. And for me, that was a no-brainer. I was going with the Grid 9000 because that was my favorite model. It's the most comfortable model in my opinion. And overall stylings of the shoe, I think, is great. And so I was just like super stoked that I could actually design a Grid 9000. So the way the design process worked, it was pretty new to most of us, since most of us are just people that like sneakers, but we don't have like a design background. So it was kind of interesting. We had to come to the table with a bunch of preconceived ideas of what we wanted to design. So when we went to Boston, we had a room that had tons of materials laid out, so you can get an idea of what types of leathers and what type of suedes and the consistency and the feel of a lot of the product that they had that we could use for our sneakers. But that wasn't all of it. So that was just kind of to give you ideas. And then after the trip in Boston, we were supposed to send them kind of a mock-up of what the design was that we wanted to go with. So I had a ton of creations. If you guys are longtime subscribers, first of all, kudos to you guys for being around my channel for this long. Much appreciated. But if you guys are longtime followers, you guys will know that I've done a ton of Nike IDs, and I have fun designing things like that, kind of out of the box. But a lot of those Nike IDs are very canned, and you can't basically just create everything that you want. It's specific colors and specific spots. This was like an open canvas. I could really do anything I wanted with this. But it was really fun to be able to create something that I wanted and something that was unique to me as an individual. So when we went to Boston, I already had at least 15 mock-ups, and I'll show you guys some of them on the screen right now, of just different designs that I wanted to theme my sneakers around. There was so many different inspirations and thoughts that I could have gone with. So most of the time when I use Nike IDs, I usually just do a lot of pop culture sort of things. I had some of that kind of vibes going on to this, with like a Lino theme and the mag theme, like a Nike mag theme, but I thought that would be kind of weird releasing, but it would have been a nod to it at least. A pug sort of theme, I thought that would have been kind of fun. One of the most popular themes that I tweeted was a Nintendo theme, and I mean, I really like the overall concept of that one. And knowing what I know now and what they could actually deliver in the actual product, I wouldn't have thought twice about that. I probably would have gone with a Nintendo theme just for more mass consumption. The theme that I chose is very specific to me as a DJ and specific to other DJs that started off with a foundation in turntables. So it's kind of a niche market, but it was one that was passionate to me, and that's the reason why I chose that one to move forward with. The other one that I was really stoked on, and I did probably 7 different versions of this, was the Ugly Christmas sweater. And I really wanted to do an Ugly Christmas sweater shoe, but they didn't give us an idea of when the shoes would be releasing. Obviously releasing in middle of summer, Ugly Christmas sweater is kind of a terrible idea. But It's like one of my favorite Nike SBs was the Ugly Christmas Sweater Dunks. So it was for sure like one of those things on my mind of getting an Ugly Christmas Sweater shoe that actually has the knit material all over the shoe. I just thought it would have been so rad. But honestly though, I didn't know if they could actually build what I wanted because I didn't know what type of materials they had access to. When you have a specific knit pattern, I didn't want a knit print. I wanted an actual knit shoe. So it would have been really, really difficult to do, and I wasn't confident that they'd be able to pull it off. Primarily the reason is because basically a blank canvas, we mark on that canvas what we like from a design perspective. We ship that piece of paper off to China. They kick out a sample pair and they send it to us, and we review it and say, yes, no, we like this, we don't like that. We send back the modifications to China, and then they sent us a second sample. And that second sample was the one that was like it. There was no more changes after that second sample. So it was like really risky to be able to try something and then not know for sure if they could pull it off before they ended up figuring out the production part. Shout out to Brandon at Saucony though, and Eric and John. Those guys have been great to work with. And without those three individuals, like this whole project probably would have fallen apart. So I'm just beyond thankful for the fact that they were able to stick this project through for us 10 creators and actually have us have a release of the shoe and everything. It was just too rad. So I was pretty bummed that the Ugly Christmas Sweater thing couldn't work out. I actually enlisted some help from Max Lund to create me a Christmas pattern. He's the one that gave me this pair of Stewie Dunks, which I love. And then he's also the one that won the Pencil World Championship last year. But it didn't end up happening, unfortunately. So this is the shoe that we ended up going for with. And I'm really happy with the results of this shoe. So before we get into the actual samples of the shoes, I want to show you guys my my third pair, because I actually have 3 pairs. So this is a custom sneaker box that was actually gifted to me from the Collective Kicks writing staff. And PJ, his sister, knocked this out of the park. She works for a design agency in Portland, Oregon. I still owe her lunch for this. Because this is just a crazy project that they ended up doing. But basically, it's a legit turntable case, just like the ones that I actually have. The only difference is my latches aren't on the ends. My latches are right here, but it's literally the same thing. It has a Heskicks logo on the box, as you can see right here. And then you can see it's literally like a display case for the sneakers inside of it. This is just one of the coolest things, man. The fact that they made like a custom sneaker box for my shoe. How freaking crazy is this? I mentioned it in my unboxing video of my collab that it would be cool to actually have a box. And I thought somebody was going to make maybe one of these type of boxes, like a cardboard box with like the print of a turntable case, but they literally made a turntable case into a sneaker box. I just thought this was insane. The other thing is you could see the quality of this tag right here. It's really something insane that they made this custom tag for the shoes with my size and everything on this box. It's just so rad. So anyways, this is a custom case, and then I want to show you guys, there's a couple different versions of the shoe. So I wanted to show you guys my first sample pair. This one has definitely a couple different variations that we changed up from the releasing pair. The main difference is the 3 dots. I had the concept of doing 3 different colored lights on the shoe because there's 3 different colored lights on the turntables. There's a red power light, a green light for the pitch control, and there's also a yellow amber light that projects onto the platter of the turntable as it's spinning around. But unfortunately, I didn't really think it went very well with the shoe. It made it kind of more of a hodgepodge just because there was so many wild colors involved. So I was trying to see if they could actually use like a transparent sort of paper for it so it looked more like light or something that was like transparent. But they couldn't actually end up doing that, so I went with an all black sort of look on the 3 dots instead. They also made the head shell logo a little bit too small, a little awkward on the shoe. And then I had open space on this side, which is where I ended up putting my Heskicks logo on the next version. Also, the material around the tongue and the inside collar is completely changed. It's kind of like a felt material in the original samples, but it definitely attracted a lot of lint. Release pair, I went with more of the neoprene look. And the last change is the pull tab. I had a pull tab, a regular one that just had Heskicks on it. On the newer version, I have a circular logo instead. All of the sample pairs that I ended up getting had 3 or 4 sets of laces. So they had purple sets, black rope laces, and gray. And the releasing pair actually has 3, I think, extra sets of laces also, which is awesome that they actually included that. Because I wanted to give you guys some diversity with being able to switch up the laces. It was such a fun thing to be able to see something come to fruition from a just piece of paper that I mocked up in my head and I created. And I had to learn how to use Photoshop to actually put the layers into the shoe. But once I actually ended up figuring it out, I mean, they knocked it out of the park. The chrome parts on the shoe were exactly what I wanted. The vinyl type material was exactly what I wanted because I wanted it to be a nod, obviously, to vinyl on the turntable. The overall color scheme, I think, worked perfectly. A lot of people are wondering why there's hits of purple. That's probably the most confusing part. And I mentioned this in my unboxing, but the original slip mats from my Technique 1200s that I bought were purple. And because of that, I wanted to have that be like a little subtle accent on the shoe. Turntables, for the most part, are just gray and black. So at the end of the day, that's all it is. I wanted it to have a little bit of a pop. So just kind of a fun fact for you guys also about these turntables and why it's kind of like one of those inspirations to me is because I did something completely untraditional when I started DJing. I was working a day job and I got laid off and I was deciding to go back to school full time. And I took out my 401k money actually to buy turntables for the first time so I could start DJing in college. And from that, it just changed everything. I was making a significant amount of money in college for just a college student because I was making a lot of money DJing on the side. But then I turned that into my other passion, which is sneakers. And every time I made some extra money every week from these DJ gigs, I would basically end up buying some sneakers here and there. So it ended up fueling my other passion, like one passion filling another passion. And both of those passions have actually turned into something bigger and have created an income for me through the years, which has helped tremendously. So definitely been a big, huge blessing. But that's really why I decided to do a nod to the turntables, because it brings me back to the humble beginnings when I didn't have much and how I created something out of nothing for myself. And that's, I mean, that is like the American dream, right? Like I feel like I've been living it, and I feel very, very fortunate because of my situation. So it's crazy. I mean, it's true. Hard work and dedication and just trying pays off in the long term. And, you know, I couldn't be more proud of where I am today. But that is the first sample. So this is the second sample that I ended up doing. And just to note that these actually glow in the dark as well. All of them glow in the dark. It was one of those things that I definitely wanted to do as a nod to the nightclubs and stuff, and just like the lights and whatnot. I've never seen a glow in the dark sole on a Saucony before, so it might be the first. But I think it's kind of a really fun thing to be able to add to the shoe. I've always liked glow in the dark soles. So they corrected a lot of the major things to the shoes that I wanted. The collar's now neoprene, and the tongue has a round Heskicks slip mat sort of logo. Then you could see they murdered out the 3 dots, so they're all black now. They added the Heskicks logo on the inside. Then they made the head shell logo bigger right here. And this, again, the head shell is the part where the needle is held and the needle touches down on the record, and that's why this was significant, because it's literally like the needle touching the record on the materials. And I just thought it was a nice nod to the overall like idea of a turntable. The insole of the original ones had 2 head shells that were flipped upside down to make sort of a design, but I didn't really like the way it turned out, so I ended up changing it, and the releasing pair actually has the same logo that is on the tongue. So that was the second sample. Unfortunately for the release pair, they did mess up one small thing, and that is the pull tab. The pull tab on the release pair is detached. It was supposed to be attached to the tongue like the one right here. But so this is my second sample that has it. No other pair has that, unfortunately. But all in all, like the released pair is just great. They did such a great job on the shoe. So that's a look at my 2 samples and my production pair. Hopefully you guys like to see. The release is only limited to 100 pairs, so it's going to be pretty difficult to cop, I think. But if you guys are interested in buying these shoes, they do go on sale on Friday, and they will be available, I think, at noon EST, 9 a.m. PST. Also, just follow me on Twitter if you guys want to see the most recent post of the shoes as they go live. Hopefully everybody that wants them will get them, but I know 100 pairs is not very many that they're actually releasing. For the last part of the video, I'm going to clear all this off here and then show you guys all of the individual designs from the other influencers. So starting off first, we have Sneakerhead in the Bays Grid SD. As you can see, super nice logo on the tongue, leather lined, coins on the inside. Really, really clean design that he did on these. So next up we have Eddie Wynn's design. As you can see, this is actually really nice materials on this toe box and the tongue. Both have that suede on it. Nice leather that's green, and then inside leather is tan, and tan on the bottoms, and then paint speckles on the midsole, and a hit of red on the back. Really nice job from Eddie as well. We have another Grid SD. This one is from Sneaker Shouts, aka Ivan. Ivan should start a YouTube channel though too, so reach out to him on Twitter and say, hey dude, Heskicks says start a YouTube channel. This theme is after Portuguese gold. The insole is crazy how it has a kind of like a brick liner. I've actually didn't notice that. Really nice. It's kind of some neoprene materials on here as well as some suede on the toe box. Again, really, really nice quality. Rope laces, and the logo is just killer. I wish mine would have turned out like that. Super, super nice. So this one is another Grid SD, and this one is Mr. Foamer Simpson and Young Buckets. Great shoe, great concept, great design. Bubba Gump, Shrimp Company, Forrest Gump, and it just overall execution is great. Love the fact that they have the white laces on there. Kind of makes it pop with the midsole. Hit a blue right here. I love the little pink accents all over the shoe. And a nice subtle detail is the inside collar is leather lined again, and the blue hit on the bottom. So this one is Yoanti's design, and it's themed after the Green Monster, I believe it's called. I'm not a baseball fan, so forgive me, but he did knock this out of the park. I mean, 310 on the tongue, and then a little hit of yellow on the back. I saw what his inspiration was after, and the execution of this looks really, really good. Kind of has a textured material around the logo area as well as on the back of the shoe. Leather lined again, and then you could see the Yoanti logo on the bottom with the grass. Pretty awesome. So this one is Tony D2 Wilds, and he did a crazy job on this shoe. I love the fact that he did this nuts sort of material. When I saw his samples of these, I like bit my tongue a little bit. I was like, oh snap. I literally was saying to myself, I'm so glad I didn't do an Oregon State Beaver theme, because this would have been better than what I would have been able to create. With this texture type of material all over the upper, it was just something. It's kind of like a nappy suede also, and it just looks crazy. But really nice details on the tongue logo. And then he also has that on the inside of the shoe. Neoprene sort of liner, not leather on this pair. But great job and great execution. So the next one is Bulls Grid SD. And I have to say that I really, really dig Bulls. Out of the whole entire pack, Bulls is one of my favorites, I have to say. I really think he did a phenomenal execution of the shoe. Just the materials in general. The fact that he uses kind of a cracked sort of leather on this, it just looks so crazy. I love the fact that he did that. So I think that the design of these are for the Jade Temple, and I think that the overall execution is just amazing. That cracked leather is something else. He has some custom logos on the tongue there. Also has some custom writing right here. It doesn't say Saucony, it says something else. The insole says his name, leather lined, and I like the little hits of green for the Jade sort of look. And this toe box material is wild too. I don't know what it is, but it looks just crazy. The way it's kind of distressed a little bit, and then that kind of Jade sole on the shoe. Next up we have T. Blake's Grid SD with the all white, and then it actually comes with custom markers that say custom on it, which I think was kind of a visionary sort of move. Like the fact that he's doing that and all the off-white stuff is happening now. He was kind of predicting stuff future thought and is now kind of popular. This just looks like a white shoe, but the materials on here are insanely nice. Really, really soft leather on this perforated leather as well. Just really, really soft, nice look. And then you have the camo print leather on the liner, which is pretty awesome as well. Clear soles on the bottom. All in all, a really simple sort of design. I'm kind of bummed because T. Blake had one of the best looking themes going into the design process, and I never asked him why he didn't actually end up going through with it. I need to reach out and see, but he had one theme. I'm not going to spoil it and say what it was, just in case he hasn't said anything and maybe he has something that he will say about it. But the theme was excellent, and it looked really, really cool. I like what he did here though, and how you can create your own custom on this shoe. I think was an awesome idea also. But the way that his other one was, it would have been cool to be able to see him execute. So last but not least, we have another Grid 9000, and this is DJ Dell's Grid 9000. And you could see that he has a little logo on the bottom there. The printed liner was just genius. I wish I would have thought of doing something like that as well. And I love the fact that he had that same print underneath the clear soles. That was just a really, really solid execution. But I really dig the overall color and the theme that he did on these shoes. Definitely a shoe I can see myself rocking. Anyway, so those are all the collaborations. Kudos to all of the designers of the collaborations. They did a phenomenal job, and every one is personalized to what they want. Foamer Simpson said something similar to that, which is true. It's like all of them are definitely personalized to the individuals, and I think everybody just did a phenomenal job. Thank you again to Saucony Originals and to the teams over there that helped make this actually happen. Really is kind of a dream come true, and can't thank you guys enough. If you guys liked the video, hit the thumbs up button. Much, much appreciated if you guys do that. Also, if you guys did actually end up copying my pair after the release, please tag me on social media, Instagram and Twitter. Let me know that you guys picked them up. Once you guys get them in hand, even, that'd be awesome to see. Or on feet, it would be really cool to see what you guys have going on. But thank you again for everybody that watched the video. I definitely appreciate the constant support. And we'll catch you guys for some more sneaker videos soon. Peace, guys.